Yo, what's good, peasants? JB back here today with another mock draft. This is going to be a little bit different though. Today we're going to be going through round 2 for the first time, taking a look at some of these other prospects, and honestly some of my favorite prospects in this class are in round 2, so it should be a good time. But before we get started, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you enjoy the content. I'm really having a lot of fun with this sports channel. We have some more non mock draft related content coming out later this week. Gonna do a favorite players at every position video. It's gonna be a good time, so come back and subscribe for that. It's gonna be a fan-freaking-tastic time. I don't know why I just said that twice. It's whatever though. So I'm basing this round 2 mock off of my previous mock draft that had the Steelers trading up for Malik Wilson. So if you missed that video, go check it out on the channel. But just to give you guys a quick little recap, I only did that one trade, so yeah, just keep that in mind when looking through this. So big thing here, this is where we traded up with the Steelers. I don't have premium, so like just use your imagination, dude. Use your imagination. So this was the Jets taking karlaftis here at the Steelers spot, and then the Steelers traded up to 10 to get Malik Willis. That's that's a long and short of it. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue on from pick 33, which is the Jacksonville Jaguars, to quote Mr. Brandon Perna. I honestly think with Miles Jack gone, they probably like to go linebacker, especially with the value at the position. It's probably the biggest value on the board at this point, bar none. It's pretty obvious that some of these linebackers will go round 1. I think Devin Lloyd definitely ends up going round 1. It's just, where does he really fit in? I mean, maybe a team like the Titans. You can honestly talk about the Eagles taking him, but the Eagles haven't taken a round 1 linebacker in what, 10 plus years at least. And all it takes is, of course, one of these teams to fall in love with the linebacker. Like the Patriots are the team I could see taking him. It's just, depending on what teams actually do in real life. But I do think a linebacker ends up going at 33, which whoever it ends up being, because like the weird thing is, like, teams are going to pass on the linebacker class because the difference between, like, Devin Lloyd I think is the consensus number 1, but the difference between nakobe Dean and a guy like Christian Harris isn't that big. You see they're only 5 apart on this big board, but even a guy like Chad Muma or Leo Chenal are guys who could all sneak into the late round 1, early day 2 area. So pretty much everyone, like down to like Troy Anderson, are all guys who are like, it's not that big of a gap between Troy Anderson and nakobe Dean. So teams are going to push them down the board because, like, oh, I could just take this guy a little bit later. So it's an interesting thing to think about, like who ends up being the first one off the board. It's probably Devin Lloyd, and he probably goes round 1. But since he's here at 33, we're going to go ahead and make the Devin Lloyd pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And full disclosure, before we get any further into this, I have thought zero about this. This is all off the top of my head. Usually I plan ahead a little bit when we do these. So yeah, I'm just gonna be winging it here. Wish me luck, boys. So much like the Jaguars, I honestly think the Lions could use that, quarterback of the defense, that, just leader on defense, a middle linebacker, a true, guy there. But there are other really solid positions of value. Could still look to go QB. Matt Corral still on the board, as well as Sam Howell, Carson Strong even, but I'm a little bit higher on these. I'm a little bit higher on Sam Howell than I am Matt Corral, but it's personal preference. And also they took, who did they take? They took Trayvon Walker at 2 and Dax Hill at 32. So to me, it comes down to linebacker or receiver. Again, the value on the board at the moment is linebacker. So whoever your guy is between Dean, Walker, Harris, we're just going to go with nakobe Dean because, again, it seems like more consensus than everyone. I honestly could see nakobe Dean suffering a fall a lot like JOK, where JOK's last year was, of course, injury related, the heart issue. Whereas nakobe Dean, we just don't know how athletic he really is. He, moved well on tape, but he's 5'11", like 220 or something, like 230 maybe. Yeah, 226, 5'11", playing middle linebacker. He looked good on one of the greatest defenses of all the time, but how much, was that the fact that he was on one of the best defenses ever in college football was making up for the fact that he's a little undersized and maybe not the best athlete? Who knows? We'll find out. Seems like a Dan Campbell guy, tough, gritty ass player. I mean, he'll fit in, he'll make plays. It's just, can he be like a true, like, superstar at the position? Who knows? We'll take nakobe Dean here at number 34. Getting back around to the Jets. So they took karlaftis and they took Garrett Wilson. Again, this was the Steelers, not the Jets, taking that pick. So they have karlaftis, so they don't need edge. In terms of tackles, man, it really dries up after pinning, in my opinion. Ryman's okay. Falcons, I don't think he's really a round 2 guy. And then he comes to guys like a Tyler Smith, who can play tackle, but we had him go in round 1. The next guy is probably Abraham Lucas, but that feels like a reach at this point, so it probably goes over to secondary at this point. Kyler Gordon's a good player. Safety value is okay. Lewis Scene's a great player. Jalen Petre's going to be a monster. Jalen Petre's one of my favorite players in this class. We'll talk about him in the video coming out, I think Friday. Spoiler. We'll also be talking. We'll talk about a couple players who are going to be going in this video. But for this one, I think I go secondary. Honestly, yeah, let's go with Jalen Petre. He seems like a leader of the defense type guy. They need more help in the secondary. They have okay corner play. They have, you know, not the best safeties. They have Whitehead. What do they have at the other safety? Who cares? Jalen Petre's that do-it-all type guy, that star role, if you will. You play him in the slot, you play him deep, you play him wherever. He's a chess piece on defense. He's just going to make plays. Just put him out there and make plays. And from all accounts, I forget who it was, but some like top talent scout or some, I forget who it was. Don't worry about who specifically it was, but I had a quote that he's one of the smartest players I've ever seen. Oh God, that's such a waste of a sentence, dude. But it was really high praise, and he's like one of the, he does a lot of stuff similar to Jalen Ramsey, but he's not Jalen Ramsey, obviously. That's the comparison that the quote was. I listen, dude. Google it. Google Jalen Petre, Jalen Ramsey thing. It's real. I promise. I'm just brain dead. It's 4 a.m. Shut up. Speaking of being brain dead at 4 a.m., the Giants are on the clock. I don't know what that has to do with what I just said, but round one, they go Ekwonu and Stingley, so they probably like to go edge here. And it's just, who do you like most out of these guys? Boyamafe, Ojabo, Ebiketie. Again, this is the, you know, kind of the point where edge starts to fall off a little bit after these three guys. Man, Ojabo's the best prospect out of the three, but the Giants kind of need help now. But I think you just take the highest upside guy. Just take the highest upside guy at this point. Why not? Go David Ojabo there to the Giants at 36. Here it comes back to the Houston Texans. I think, this is a pretty tough one. They're another team that could really use, again, everything. They're the Texans. They went Sauce and KT with their first two picks. Like, there's no way KT makes it to 13. This is just a what if scenario draft, much like my first one with Kyle Hamilton falling, which I also like Kyle Hamilton falling this one, but whatever. They could really go anywhere. It's probably just BPA. It's probably just BPA. And honestly, I think my BPA at this point is probably Lewis Seen. Does a lot of stuff similar to Justin Reed. That's honestly a pretty close comp to him. So why not just bring in a younger version of Justin Reed? There we go. Jets back on the clock. They've gone edge, safety, and receiver. Could look to go corner. Again, this was a little early for tackle. It was just a little early. Corners. I mean, you just think Jalen Petre, you maybe don't necessarily need that. This is probably, I mean, they might use two of these picks to package in a trade or something. I don't know. This feels like a weird spot. Receiver, I mean, they have Garrett Wilson at 4, so they don't need to go receiver. They could look to double up. It's not, you know, a necessary pick. Could be a thing though. Guard. I mean, Sean Ryan's a great player. They don't really need IOL though. Might just be another BPA. Might just be another BPA. They could use linebacker help. They could definitely use who they have. Avery Johnson, who's, you know, he's a you know, cap casualty guy after the season. Why not? Let's go ahead and say Quay Walker. Who do they have there? Cashman, is he starting? Either way, you can get better at the position. You have the financial outs on Avery. No, not Avery. Oh God, I just said his name too. I just said his name. You know what? This is what Google's for. Jets depth chart. Boom. Whatever. We took Quay Walker anyway. CJ Mosley. Jesus. Yeah. Delshon Phillips and Quincy Williams are also there. Sherwood, Devin White, yeah, they could use linebacker help. I like Quay Walker there. He's a guy who can play a little bit, you know, weak side linebacker too. Get after the quarterback a little bit, so I like Quay Walker here. Seems like a good fit. Blake Cashman is apparently no longer on this team, so there goes my Madden knowledge. I haven't played Madden in like 4 years. Anyway, okay, so Bears, they need another receiver. They kind of only have Darnell Mooney, but they also lost like all of their interior offensive line. And a guy that I'm pretty high on, who I think is definitely going to go a lot higher than people are thinking, is Sean Ryan. He's one of the best guards in the draft, this pure guards, that is, especially in the day 2 range. I think he's a pretty clean fit here to the name of the team is escaping me. Chicago Bears. My brain is on. Listen, did I say it was 4 a.m.? It's 4 a.m., guys. All right, back-to-back picks for the Seahawks. They went with Evan Neal in the first round. This could definitely be the spot to take a shot on a QB. Corral and Howell both sitting here on the board. It's just which one do you like more? I think I'm a little bit higher on Howell, so we'll go with Howell. Why not? We'll go Sam Howell there. Next up, we got, again, the same team. I think Boye Mafe doesn't make it much further past this, so get you a nice little developmental edge rusher in there. You're not trying to win now. You can, learn. They have some decent vets there. They have Alton Smith, who's still a pretty young guy, but they have some depth there. Can't hurt to go ahead and grab another young freak of an athlete and just hopefully develop him. Okay, the Colts. To me, it's receiver or tackle. Again, I'm not in love with Ryman. I think he definitely goes round 2 though. If you don't pass on that kind of upside, it's receiver to me. It's Skyy Moore or Christian Watson. They need to get Michael Pittman some help, which shout out to YouTuber God Michael Pittman. Always cool when celebrities and big up people are down to earth YouTube guys. Shout out to fellow YouTubers is all I'm saying. Skyy Moore or Watson. Skyy Moore gives them a little bit more diversity. Christian Watson is basically just faster Michael Pittman with worse hands, so we'll just go Skyy Moore. Get him a little bit more of a dynamic player there. Back up with the Eagles. They went, nope, those are the Falcons. Dumbass. Drake London. So could look to go edge, could look to really go anything. They could be another quarterback spot. Want to take a shot on Matt Corral, maybe. Evan Katie's interesting corner. I don't mind Kyler Gordon here. He's a similar. I don't hate Kyler Gordon. I don't hate Kyler Gordon there. It's a thought. Don't need linebacker. Edge, I'm just not in love with the value. I think Arnold Evan Katie's great. He's a little bit old. This feels like a team that's trying to bottom out. And you really want to take a 23, 24-year-old? I think he's 24. I'll Google that again real quick as well, because I don't. If he's like 22, you take him. But yeah, he's 23 already. I don't think the same team takes a 23-year-old edge rusher. They want like developmental guys. Not that they couldn't take him. He's still a really good player. Drake Jackson is interesting. High upside guy. So yeah, it's Drake Jackson or Kyler Gordon for me. And Drake Jackson just seems like this, freak multiple piece of clay. So we'll go with Drake Jackson. Why not? Why not? And then this is another just definite edge spot to me. They didn't bring back Clowney yet, right? I don't think they brought back Jadeveon Clowney. All right, last report is the Browns are pushing to re-sign him, but he hasn't re-signed yet. So we'll base off the fact that he hasn't re-signed yet, and we'll go with Arnold Evan Katie. High pass rush upside, so don't mind that. Next up, we have the Eagles. They just brought, why is every bird team the Eagles? What the fuck is wrong with me, dude? Use your brain. It's the Ravens. Round 1, they took Jermaine Johnson at 14. That was a steal of a pick. They could look to go back to IDL. Travis Jones is a guy who I think goes a lot higher than this IRL, but here we are. Could be interesting. Corner again. McCreary, Kyler Gordon. They need depth at corner. We'll just go with Kyler Gordon. I think he's the best corner prospect on the board. Not an exact scheme fit, but you just take best player available at some point and try to figure it out. Okay, we got the Vikings up. No, this is the Eagles too, guys. Don't worry, this is the Eagles too. Brisker is a thought. He's more of a strong guy, and they already have Harrison Smith. Again, Harrison Smith is older. Also have Cam Bynum on the other side, who they've converted, so I don't really think that's necessary. Corner could look to go McCreary. Someone's got to take a shot on Willen High just because he's a freak. Like 4.29, 4.26, just an absolute disgustingly fast human being. I don't mind mocking receiver here, honestly, because why the hell not? Just get another guy. Adam Thielen's getting up there in age. KJ Osborne's a decent number 3, but you can get better at that position. Why not? Let's see. let's just go with Roger McCreary. Get another corner there. They need corner depth horrifically, so go ahead and just bring in another guy. Can't hurt. Which does make it a little bit unfortunate for the Commanders, as they are also one of the most corner needy teams in the league. A little bit less so than the Vikings, I would say. Took Chris Olave round 1. A little bit early for him, you might say, but it's what they did. It's what I did for them. Dylan Parham's really good. I think he's the next guard. But I don't think they really need guard. They brought in Norwell. They did lose Sheriff. Gosh. And they have Schweitzer. Schweitzer is definitely a replacement level guy. They can start him for a year. I like Dylan Parham here. Let's go ahead and grab him. He's a high upside guy. So I don't mind taking a shot on a guy like Dylan Parham there. The Bears back on the clock. Still probably need to go receiver. They have Sean Ryan from earlier this round. And it's just which one of these guys do you like the most between Watson, Pickens, and Mechie? Those are my top 3 receivers at the moment. I don't think Pickens drops this far. I think there's some real rumblings that Green Bay is super interested in George Pickens, so I think he probably doesn't even get out of the first round. But in this scenario, he did. Those reports came out after my previous mock, so we'll go ahead and grab George Pickens to the division rival of the Packers. You know, just maybe they thought they could get him at 53, and it turns out, nah, dude, the Bears like him. The Bears heard those rumors, and they're like, nah, we'll just take him here. Get effed. Speaking of teams that really need receiver, I think the Saints would love to have Christian Watson at pick 49. I don't mind that at all. You probably want a higher, you know, just a pure speed guy though, which kind of is what Christian Watson is, but he could be a little bit more than that. He does have drop issues. He's just a pure deep threat at the moment. We haven't really seen much else. Safety, they lost someone to retirement, so could look to go Jaquan Brisker. They need, you know, that true strong safety archetype. Could be a guy. They also need, you know, more of that slot help too, so could look for a more do-it-all guy. Jaquan Brisker is more of like a pure strong safety box type. Corner, don't really need, but linebacker, Devontae Davis is getting up there in years. Jeez. It's probably receiver. We'll just grab Christian Watson. Chiefs back up on the board. They took Andrew Booth and Jahan Dotson with their last 2 picks, so I'd like to grab an edge guy here. Could look to grab an edge guy. I don't mind. Edge is kind of disgusting at this point, honestly. I think the next guys up are Benito and Williams, which and Aguirre's just, he's too slow, I think. Haskell's okay. Oh, I know who I'm taking. I know exactly who I'm taking. Travis Jones, easy, lock it in. Travis Jones is going to go way higher than this. I think it would be crazy if he gets out of the 30s even. So yeah, Travis Jones there. Pair him up with Chris Jones, be more of that space eater. Let Chris Jones, who is, you know, Chris Jones can really do whatever he wants. Just, you know, another guy to eat blocks for him. Just help out the defensive line, all around depth. I really like Travis Jones there. That feels like a no-brainer. All right, Eagles back on the clock. For real this time, it's actually the fucking Eagles, guys. It's actually the Eagles, dude. It's not a different bird team. So they took Kyle Hamilton and Jameson Williams. Kyle Hamilton, basically a luxury pick at that point. So another team that could look to go quarter. Tariq Woolen, not bad. Edge, maybe they like to go with a freak like Benito, but they have Josh Sweat. They still have Barnett. Obviously, I don't think they're too high on Barnett at this point. Guards, not in love with the value here. Because you can slide inside. Not feeling it. Not feeling it at all. So let's just go with corner. Someone's gonna take a shot on Woolen early. He's probably gonna go round 2, so I'll take Tariq Woolen there. Just try to, you know, develop a highly athletic guy. He's really fast, obviously. He's a freak athlete. A guy I'm more, you know, interested in is Zion McCollum, who is that freak athlete and has better movement and coverage skills, but, you know, I think he probably goes round 3. I don't think he makes it out of day 2. I think someone's gonna try to snag him like earlier than other people, because I think he's gonna be like one of the hottest commodities in the draft if he gets to day 3, but I don't think he gets to day 3. I think someone snags him in round 3 a little earlier than expected. I don't think he goes quite round 2 though. Although I do think he's probably a better day 1 player than Tariq Woolen, and probably maybe even a better prospect. Who knows? All right, so the Steelers, they took, did they trade this pick? No, they did not trade this pick. So I had them trading up for Malik Willis in round 1. So what do we do here? I don't think they need interior offensive line. They haven't re-signed Edmonds yet, so Jaquan Brisker, just slide in and fill that role. Boom, easy. Okay, back up with the Packers. Who do they have so far? They have Perion Winfrey and Treylon Burks. Makes a lot of sense. And I think a guy who is probably, you know, I think this is around the right range for Bernard Ryman. They need a right tackle. Why not? There's a guy who could potentially play guard as well, but you can, you know, you have Elton Jenkins, who's one of the, you know, most versatile offensive linemen in the league. So yeah, figure it out. I like Bernard Ryman here. Boom, easy. Okay. I think this is corner for the Patriots. They took Zion Johnson round 1. So I think they definitely need to grab a corner here. It's just, I don't think Darion Kendrick is that fantastic. He's fine. I'm just not in love with any of the corners on the board. This is a really weird corner class. Like, there's a lot of good day 3 guys. It's just, do you really want to reach that far on someone? Who knows? I mean, there's safeties who could play slot. Not really at this point. Those guys kind of went off, like your Petries of the world. So where do they go? They could go receiver. Ooh, actually I like that. We'll take John Mechie, pair him back up with Mac Jones. Boom. I like that a lot, actually. John Mechie to the Patriots. And you know what? John Mechie, another one of those guys we might be talking about a little bit more, you know, later this week. Big fan of John Mechie. All right. Cardinals took a corner earlier. They grabbed, who did they grab? Elam, I think. Yeah, they grabbed Elam at 23. The backup here at 55. Good look to go guard. Sawyer's a good player. Not in love with that value though. Didn't mean to click on quarterback, which is getting the blue thing off. Running back. This could be the first running back spot. They have James Conner. They lost Edmonds. It just depends on who your RB1 is. Kenneth Walker is a pretty similar player to Connor. He's more of a he's kind of a do-it-all guy. He doesn't have the best hands though. Like, his hands are only like, his hands are nothing great. He's not the best, you know, receiving back in the world. I think the best pure receiving back is at this range, like of the top 3 guys. Like, I think these are easily the consensus top 3, and then it kind of falls off a cliff. I think the closest one-to-one comparison to the guy they lost is Isaiah Spiller. So we'll go ahead and grab Isaiah Spiller as the first running back off the board to the Cardinals. Sorry, Cardinals fans, you're probably really mad at me for that one, but we lost Edmonds. He's the closest one-to-one comparison, I guess. You can argue Breece Hall. I'm also kind of, you know what? We'll talk about it here in a little bit. So for the Cowboys, took Kenyon Green in the first. Probably look to go edge here. Nick Bonito or Sam Williams are probably the guy. We'll go Bonito. He's a little bit more polished as a player, so we'll go ahead and grab Nick Bonito. Now for the Bills. For me, it's guard. Sawyer's okay. He's the next guy. According to this ranking, is as well. Chris Paul, maybe. I think Chris Paul's a little bit low. I think Thayer Mumford's a little bit low. I think it's necessary to grab one here, though. I think one of the most fun picks and one of the most fun fits in the entire draft is Breece Hall to the Bills. Let's be real. The Bills are kind of like in the pre-Kevin Durant Golden State Warriors phase of their run, where they're everyone's second favorite team. And I think just putting a really freaking good running back prospects on one of the best offenses in the league, who they don't even really need a running back, but they could kind of use an upgrade at the position, you know. Devin Singletary's fine. Zach Moss hasn't really shown that he's all that, so why not put a guy who has potential to be one of the 5 best players in this entire draft, in my opinion, Breece Hall, on one of the best offenses in the league. I think that's just a ton of fun. That's kind of why I didn't take him for the Cardinals. I just like, dude, it's just too fun of a scenario. Breece Hall getting drafted to the Bills. I think he's my RB1, and it's honestly not close. I think Kenneth Walker's good. I think Kenneth Walker is like really solid. I just think Breece Hall, he has the potential to be just another level. So I'm a huge Breece Hall guy. So yeah, just putting him on that team, it's gonna be so interesting if that happens. We'll just put it that way. Okay, so the Falcons are back up. Could look to go QB. Could be a Matt Corral spot. Could definitely be a Matt Corral spot. I had a player in mind for them. I just have to remember who it was. Oh gosh, they're another team who could kind of just do anything. DeMarvin Leal's a thought here. They don't, especially if they get rid of Grady Jarrett, and not exactly one-to-one comparison again. Geez. Like, the thought with them taking a quarterback is it feels kind of like they're just going all in on next year's class, which makes more sense to me. So I don't really think they'll do that. Honestly, could we see 3 running backs go back to back to back? They kind of, well, essentially with Nick Benito in between. They only have Cordell Patterson really on their roster, who's a running back. Let's check their depth chart real quick. Who else do they have there? Mike Davis, who's whatever. Damian Williams, whatever. Olison. Kenneth Walker instantly comes in. He's your number 2. And, you know, Patterson is oftentimes running, you know, weird slot sets anyway. Just get a pure do-it-all running back in there. Why not, man? I don't think they take a quarterback because they really want to, you know, get involved in next year. So I think this is probably the betting odds favorite to be the number 1 pick next year. So I don't think they really even look to touch a quarterback in this class. All right, Packers back up again. Robert Tonyan's on a 1-year deal. Trey McBride is an absolute beast, so I really like Trey McBride here. Don't really need to talk about that one. He's a do-it-all tight end. You get him on a 4-year deal. You don't have to re-sign Robert Tonyan when you're already kind of strapped for cash anyway. So bringing in a guy like Trey McBride makes a lot of sense there. But he's, I think, by far the best tight end in this class. Not necessarily my favorite one, but he's really effing good. Kind of a do-it-all guy, willing and very good blocker. So yeah, I like Trey McBride here a lot. And, you know, 12 personnel is a thing, and they don't really have anything outside of Robert Tonyan, even if they do decide to bring him back. So why not take a shot on the best tight end in the class? Okay. Where do the Bucks go? They haven't brought back Ndamukong Suh yet. Who'd they take earlier? They haven't picked yet in the second. They took Tyler Smith. They haven't had a second. No, okay. So this could be a Leal spot, developmental spot. They have a really depthy offensive or defensive line, so they don't necessarily need him to come in and make a huge impact right away. But is it really worth the pick there? Not so sure. Logan Hall. He's kind of a similar player to Joe Tryon. He's that, inside outside type guy who's not the greatest athlete in the world, but is really, just a beast. He's got one of the best bull rushes in the class. Receiver, they don't need that. They kind of this team kind of has everything. Maybe it's just BPA. Who is BPA according to consensus? Honestly, I don't hate getting younger at linebacker. You have Devin White there, and of course you have Levante David, who's one of the greatest Buccaneers of all time, but he is getting up there in age. I don't hate getting younger at linebacker. I really don't. We're also living in a world where Gronk hasn't re-signed yet. I imagine he does though, so we're gonna play this as if he does. They brought in someone at safety. I don't think they need safety at all. I don't know why that's listed as a need. Yeah, no, they brought in Logan Ryan and Keanu Neal. They don't need safety at all. So Mike Edwards and Antoine Woodward, obviously, yeah, they don't need safety at all. Why is that listed as a need? Receiver, Godwin Evans, Tyler Johnson still there, Scotty Miller still there. They brought in the guy from the Falcons. What's his name? Russell Gage. So yeah, don't need receiver really. Brought back Fournette. That's a luxury pick. You know what? I am gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and take Zion McCollum in round 2 to the Buccaneers. So here's the reason. Let's go ahead and talk this one out a little bit. Both. So they brought back Carlton Davis, right? Jamel Dean and Sean Murphy Bunting are both free agents next year. You're not going to be able to bring back both of them most likely. So get a young guy in there who's an insane athlete, a developmental guy who can learn for a year. And, you know, 4 corner sets are a thing. You get him on the field in certain packages. So he will get to play a little bit. You'll get to, you know, find out what you have there at least somewhat. And he gets to, you know, learn and be a good depth piece. And you have him if you're, you know, as an insurance policy, if you're not able to bring back either or both of those guys. So there you go. I like that a lot, actually. All right, Niners. Oh boy, this is a weird one. This is a really weird one for me. I have no idea what to do with the 49ers. Because it all hinges on if they're forced to trade Debo, which I don't. If I had to guess, I don't think he ends up getting traded. Could use a guard. Could definitely use a guard. Defensively, they're seem fine. I mean, they could use another corner. You could always use corner depth. So to me, it's corner or guard. Sawyer's decent. We just looked at corner. Corner is so dried up at this point. I don't like any of these guys in round 2. Yikes. Anyone here you want to move over? Like Abraham Lucas. Yeah, he's more of a pure tackle than anything. I think he probably goes day 2. He definitely goes day 2. It's just I don't know if he goes day 1. In PF, he could play guard maybe. Cole Strange is really good, but again, I don't know if he's round 2 good. Darian Kennard, same sort of thing. He's good. I don't know if he's round 2 good. Sawyer. Mumford's the guy I'm pretty high on. I think Thayer Mumford's gonna be pretty good, but geez, this is a tough one, guys. This is a really, really tough one. Could just take a weapon, just get another guy in there anyway, because Jawan Jennings is your 3rd, and that's, you know, fine, but you could definitely do better. Calvin Austin's really good. Alec Pierce is really good. Khalil Shakir's really good. Don't need linebacker help. Don't really need edge help. Good luck to go IDL. Fidarian Mathis is interesting. But I mean, you still have Ken Law there. You hope he takes the next step. You know what? Just to get something done, we'll just take Sawyer, top guard on the board. Just whoever your top guard is on the board, that's who you take there. I have no idea what to do with that pick. I told you guys I have no clue what to do there. Okay, back up on the board, we have the Chiefs. They have not looked to address edge yet. I mean, it still says it's a need, so I would assume I didn't take the edge guy. So we took oh god, who all did we take? Booth, Dotson. They have so many picks. Travis Jones, that's right. Honestly, at this point, I don't hate taking a shot on Logan Hall. He's another versatile guy. You can move all around the line. Just take a shot on Logan Hall. I think he's the last, like, truly worthy round 2 edge rusher. Back up on the clock are the Bengals. They don't need tackle at this point. Corner is probably their biggest need, but do we really need to keep talking about how dried up I think the cornerback position is at this point? I really don't like. I don't think Darion Kendrick's a day 2 guy. I really don't. He could be. He probably will be eventually, but you know what? He can't be worse than Eli Apple. Let's be real, guys. He can't be worse than Eli Apple. They did lose CJ Uzomah. They brought in Hayden Hurst, so I don't hate bringing in another tight end prospect. Greg Dulcich is my tight end too. It was a little bit early though. I mean, you're not gonna be picking for a while, and I don't think he makes it to you in round 3. I think he's higher on most teams' boards than the guys above him. So, you know what? We'll go ahead and grab Greg Dulcich. You have Hayden Hurst, who is that more blocking, you know, traditional beat 'em up tight end, and you have Greg Dulcich, who's a great deep threat, great pass catcher. So go ahead and take a bit of a luxury pick there. They really revamped their offensive line. We took Tyler Linderbaum for him at 31, who apparently put on 10-15 pounds and is, you know, looking to be more guard versatile. So, I mean, if you end up starting Ted Karras there, you don't even really need to worry about guards. So there you go. They don't really need to worry about offensive line. I'm not in love with the corner, so why not get your you know, quarterback another weapon? I don't hate it, especially when you ended up losing Uzomah to free agency. And then last and certainly not least, we have the Denver Broncos, and I think they go linebacker with Christian Harris here at 64. Christian Harris is my favorite linebacker in the class, so it's just yeah, this is a great scheme fit, great everything. He's a do-it-all type guy, and he will be a beast in Denver. There we go. All right, so just to recap, round 1 doesn't really matter. This is my previous video. If you want to, you know, go in depth on round 1, then you go watch that video. And then round 2, here you go. See what we did. Lloyd, Dean, I'm not reading them all. Honestly, I'm pretty proud of this, especially doing it off the top of the head. I like a lot of these fits and a lot of these picks, actually. Let me know what you think. Let me know how bad I fucked up your favorite team, and it'll be great. It'll be awesome. Please roast me. Just you know, be ready to get roasted back. It's nah, don't be a dick about it. We can have fun. It's all in good fun at the end of the day, and none of these are gonna come true anyway, so it's whatever. Catch y'all in the next one though. Friday we're gonna have favorite players at each position coming out, so be sure to tune in for that. Like, subscribe, do all that nonsense. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.